Have you ever replayed the same conversation in your head 100 times, worrying about what you should have said? Or spent hours imagining every possible outcome before making a simple decision? If so, you're not alone. Overthinking has become one of the biggest silent obstacles to happiness and success. It tricks you into believing you're solving problems, when in reality, you're creating new ones. The mind is an incredible tool, but when left unchecked, it can become its own worst enemy. Imagine standing at the edge of a swimming pool, wanting to jump in. The longer you stand there analyzing the water, the temperature, and every possible outcome, the harder it becomes to jump. But the moment you leap, you realize it wasn't nearly as scary as your mind made it seem. That's exactly how overthinking works. It creates fear before reality even has a chance to speak. Most of the things we worry about never actually happen, yet we waste precious hours and emotional energy preparing for imaginary problems. Your brain is designed to protect you from danger, but it doesn't always know the difference between a real threat and an imagined one. That's why a simple email, a delayed text message, or a small mistake at work can feel like a life-changing disaster inside your head. Overthinking begins with one thought, but then it grows into another and another, until you've built an entire story that may have nothing to do with reality. One unanswered message becomes, "They're angry with me." One mistake becomes, "I'm going to fail." One challenge becomes, "Maybe I'm not good enough." These stories feel real because your brain repeats them so often, but repetition doesn't make them true. Another reason we overthink is our desire for certainty. We want guarantees before taking action. We want to know we'll succeed before we start. We want people to approve of us before we speak. We want every risk removed before making a decision. But life doesn't work that way. Certainty is an illusion. Waiting until everything feels perfect often means waiting forever. Successful people don't have all the answers. They simply become comfortable moving forward despite uncertainty. They understand that clarity comes from action, not endless thinking. Imagine trying to learn how to ride a bicycle by reading books alone. No matter how much you think about balance, you'll never truly learn until you get on the bike. The same is true for life. Action teaches what overthinking never can. One of the biggest traps of overthinking is perfectionism. Many people believe they must make the perfect choice, write the perfect email, create the perfect project, or say the perfect words. But perfection is impossible. In chasing perfection, we often accomplish nothing at all. A completed task that is 80% perfect is infinitely more valuable than a perfect idea that never leaves your mind. Progress always beats perfection. Another hidden cause of overthinking is comparing yourself to others. Social media makes this even worse. Every day we see carefully edited highlights of other people's lives and quietly compare them to our behind-the-scenes struggles. We start asking questions like, "Am I falling behind? Why is everyone else succeeding faster than me? What if I never catch up?" But comparison steals your peace because you're measuring your journey against someone else's chapter. Everyone moves at a different pace, faces different challenges, and defines success differently. The only meaningful comparison is between who you are today and who you were yesterday. One of the simplest ways to stop overthinking is to separate what you can control from what you cannot. You cannot control other people's opinions, the past, unexpected events, or every future outcome. But you can control your effort, your attitude, your habits, and your next decision. Focusing on what you can influence immediately reduces anxiety because your attention shifts from helplessness to action. Another powerful habit is writing your thoughts down instead of letting them endlessly circle inside your mind. When worries remain in your head, they feel huge and overwhelming. But once they're written on paper, they often become smaller, clearer, and easier to solve. Journaling isn't about writing perfectly. It's about giving your thoughts somewhere to rest instead of forcing your mind to carry them all day. Your body also plays a surprising role in overthinking. Lack of sleep, constant stress, too much caffeine, and endless screen time can make your mind race even faster. Sometimes what feels like a mental problem is actually a physical one. A short walk, deep breathing, exercise, or even stepping away from your phone for a while can calm your nervous system more effectively than another hour of worrying. Remember, your brain performs better when your body is cared for. Another important truth is that feelings are temporary. Just because you feel anxious today doesn't mean you'll feel this way forever. Emotions come and go like waves. If you react to every anxious thought as though it's a fact, you'll remain trapped in fear. Instead, learn to observe your thoughts without believing every one of them. A thought is simply a thought, not a prediction of the future. Ask yourself, is this actually happening right now, or is my mind imagining it? That single question can break the cycle of unnecessary worry. Successful people are not those who never overthink. They're the ones who refuse to let overthinking stop them from taking action. They feel fear, uncertainty, and doubt just like everyone else, but they move anyway. Every action builds confidence, and every small step weakens the power of fear. Confidence isn't created by waiting until you're ready. It's created by proving to yourself that you can handle whatever happens. At the end of your life, you'll rarely regret the chances you took. More often, you'll regret the opportunities you never pursued because you spent too much time trapped inside your own mind. Life is too short to live inside imaginary problems. So, the next time your thoughts begin racing, pause for a moment. Take a deep breath. Focus on what you can control. Make one small decision. Take one small action. Because the cure for overthinking is rarely more thinking. It's purposeful action. Your mind is meant to be your greatest ally, not your prison. Learn to guide it instead of letting it guide you, and you'll discover something extraordinary. Peace doesn't come from having every answer. It comes from trusting yourself enough to take the next step, one moment at a time.